Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to give you a relatively brief profile slash content audit as far as TikTok goes, maybe some tips and tricks and a little bit of a strategy and whatnot. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start from the top down with the profile. Keep it simple. The first thing I would suggest is maybe changing the photo, your default photo. Now, really quickly, this isn't going to be the reason why you go viral. It's not going to be the reason why your videos take off, etc. But it can be the reason why when someone does see your video, they make a decision to go to the profile or to create some kind of like implicit trust with you. Again, they're going to see you on videos. So, obviously if your facial expressions and body language and charisma is good, you're going to be good or whatnot. But very quickly, what I would just suggest, if I scroll out like this is more or less what people are seeing on their phone devices. It's actually probably smaller than this. What I would just suggest very quickly is honestly just cropping the photo a bit, just so we get a bit more of a headshot like this, so we can actually see from the kind of like collarbone upwards, more of your smile. You still get part of the like actual, medical outfit in there, so that we know you're an authority figure and all that stuff, just so we can see you more or less. Again, not the reason why you are going to go viral. It's just something that's a little bit easier. Now, the second part I'm going to briefly talk about is the bio itself. I would suggest changing this mainly because when I read this, I don't really know what you do and who you are, and for lack of a better term, why I should even care. Why should I give a shit about who you are? I might have just seen your video, which is great. Maybe you gave me some really good ideas about, why I'm losing weight at a certain age. But you could just be a regular person, just giving me your personal experience. Now, what I would suggest is trying to keep it to one single sentence that really clearly and accurately describes what you do, but even more so, you're kind of touching on the desired outcome and a pain point that your audience or your ideal customers are, going through. So let's say you put something, and again, this is just an off the top of my head type of thing. Probably don't use this, but if you said something like, I help women going through menopause get control over their hormones, and then below that, like how you have right here, holistic PA, you put like your credentials and stuff like that. More or less, you want to just have it very clear and obvious that when someone comes to your profile, they know exactly what you're about. You're not just some lady giving some free helpful advice. No. You do this for a living. You do this for work. And who you help, you're not, maybe you do, but I'm assuming you're not helping, some 15-year-old. You're like, no. I help business professionals do this specific thing to get this specific result or to heal this pain point or frustration, etc. So I would just change that, add it to your bio. If you want, you could just message me and maybe we can kind of come up with some different little bios to test out, kind of like a call to action description, etc. And then again, I would just put the what you do right here, like your actual credentials and stuff like that. One little thing you can do if you want to, if you have room, depending on who you service and if you work with or who you work for or whatever, you could try to put your location if you're geolocated bound. So if you only work with people within X mile radius, you could put some keywords in there like Los Angeles or something like that, just so you could be found in contrast to whatever it is you're saying. So if it's like maximum fat burning, they put that in, Los Angeles, you pop up, all that good stuff. The other thing I would say right here is like work with me with the arrow pointing down or the hand pointing down. Again, why? Why should I work with you? Why should I click that link? Give me a reason. Give me something a little bit more interesting where it's like, again, off the top of my head, not the best, but if you're like, let's create your perfect diet plan, or let's have a conversation and get you on the right track, or check out the link to get my weight loss guide in 30 days. They're not the best examples, obviously, I'm going off the top of my head, but there's something to give me a reason to go click the actual link to go check it out. The other thing I would mention really quickly too is just this link. I'd get rid of it, honestly. Like, you're just branding Koji. You're more or less shouting out another company's name, Koji, versus your own. I would just literally buy a URL. It could literally be, your own website and just get a subdomain to it, or just buy a random URL and just redirect it to your Koji if you want. More or less, you want it to be like healthywithhannah.com. When they click it, then it opens up and redirects to Koji. You know what I mean? Why give the hype to Koji and build up their name and their recognition in the space versus your own, Really quickly too, when I click your link, I'd get rid of probably most of these things. Very quickly, it looks like you're using a general link generator. that's used for all your platforms. So, it's for TikTok, it's for Instagram, it's for Facebook. You're putting the same link everywhere. Because of that, if I went to your profile on mobile, I'm on desktop right now, you probably already have your Instagram and your YouTube linked here. So why give me another call to action here? Like, these are just distractions. They don't provide any value or pull me away in a constructive manner. I don't need to see a TikTok link because I just came from TikTok. So what I would suggest is probably either one, having a social link like this, like a Koji one, specific for TikTok, so you can get rid of all this other stuff down below. And then even these things right here, like zinc carnesian, favorite magnesium for sleep, best vitamin D3, website. Like, I would imagine if you went and looked at your actual Koji backend, you've seen how many of these were clicked. I'm pretty sure only a couple of them are like the most clicked, and everything else is not clicked. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Obviously I don't know your content intimately like that, but I would imagine these three, nobody cares. Maybe you did have a viral video and you're like, oh, click the link in my bio to go find out what that is or what I suggest or whatever. Yeah, put that in your Instagram. Have people go to your Instagram. Give them a call to action like, oh, it's on my pinned post on my Instagram. Go check it out. I tagged the product and I have the links there. Now you're pushing people to your Instagram versus clogging this up. We want to have just max 3 options. What are the 3 most important things? And what are those 3 things that are actually creating an incentive for the right reason? Go to my bio to get some cheap vitamins. What is that saying? It means like, yo, I'm telling you to not spend money with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving you a call to action that is kind of like building the foundation of like free or cheap or low cost, etc. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I'd rather you just do it through an email list, like something that's actually helpful, or, free hormone course for women. That's cool. You're getting them to opt in versus like, here's a good vitamin D3. It's like, that should just be in your health package. I give all the best vitamins and magnesium and vitamin D3 and zinc. It's all in my health package, or it's all in my email list. Go check it out. I'll have it sent to you. At least you're collecting an email, not just, going to some random Amazon link right here. That's like, you don't even get like an affiliate for that. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say for this part. And then again, I'd probably change this avatar this profile image just to be cropped a little bit more. Again, I can't even see you here. Like, I don't even know what you look like or what you're about. Probably crop it from the shoulders up. Now, with that being said, let's get into the actual content itself, okay? Now, one thing I noticed very quickly when I rearranged your content, like if I go over here using Talk Audit, I'm going to rearrange your content of all time by video views. And I noticed very quickly that there's certain topics that you're talking about and the way that you go about it that are more interesting to the regular casual person, But one thing I would say is maybe for your captions and the way that you frame your content, to maybe think about like, how do I get to the point? Like, what's the key focus and the key issue or the key symptom that I could really, really focus on? Like, what is the thing that's actually going to rattle their brain and grab attention? So, you have like this one right here is really good, 2.2 million, the very first one. Number 1 warning sign of testosterone deficiency, which is good, but maybe you could also think about things like, what is the life that someone is living with testosterone deficiency? Or the other one right here, 3 things you never knew about menopause. That's good, but like, what is the thing? Like, what is that core thing that you really want people to focus on that's really going to grab their attention? If you put like number 1 sign or number 1 reason why you lack upper body strength or something like that, or number 1 reason why you're old and weak, it has to do with your testosterone. Like, old and weak, like that's something that men would probably be like, wait, I'm not old and weak. Well, I kind of am older, but damn, I do kind of feel weak. It's testosterone? Let me check this out, 3 things you never knew about menopause. Like, what about it? Like, why is this important? Why do we, here's 3 things you need to know when going through menopause that's going to change your sex life. Whoa. That's very, very like, hold on, I gotta know what's going on here because, whatever it is. More or less what I'm trying to say is like, when you're wording these things or when you're phrasing it or you're framing the content story around it, try to think again, what is the key focus and the key issue that you really, really, really want people to really hone in on and be like, oh shit, that's really interesting. The other thing I would think about too is think about how can you talk about the most general thing that everybody is interested in, can relate to, but narrow it down by what your expertise and what your information is. So what I mean by that, let's say right now it's January 11th, 2023. Elon Musk is obviously heavily in the news right now, okay? He's super talked about for a variety of reasons. Most people are probably interested in Elon Musk to some degree, right? We all share that familiarity. If you talked about, a businesswoman going through menopause just out the gate, it's probably not that many people percentage-wise that are going to see your content off the bat that can relate, that are going through it, that know somebody, etc. But Elon Musk, that's like some general thing, right? But what you do is you narrow it down by your information and the authority that you are. So what you would maybe do is like you use Elon Musk as an example, a case study, to then talk about your area of expertise and your authority, So maybe you could be like, here's 3 signs that Elon Musk is becoming deficient in testosterone. And then you just go through things, obvious stuff that you would normally talk about. Elon Musk has not been sleeping. Here's one thing that can lower your testosterone by 30%. It's not getting enough sleep. Now you can see that Elon is doing, it's not so much that we give a shit about Elon. You're just using something that everybody knows and is talking about, but you're coming from a different perspective or a different angle where I normally would not care about menopause, right? But if you started talking about, a celebrity or something that happened in the news or something that's, let's say the COVID vaccine, for example, and you start connecting to menopause, maybe I don't care about menopause right now. But if you talked about a COVID vaccine and how it affects women at a certain age, now I care because now it's like, oh, I might have an older relative that I should convey this information to. I should find out. I should link them. I should share them, etc. So that's another thing. Think about that very broad topic and narrowing this perspective and spectrum, really, really focusing on what you do and more or less just kind of boosting you up and like, oh, I bet you didn't know about this, but blah, blah, blah. Now, another couple of things I want to mention very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and reset the order of your videos from the most recent to the oldest. One thing I would say is thinking about your place and setting. Where's a unique place and setting that you can sit to either build authority or build curiosity? And how do you do both at the same time? Ideally, you could do both at the same time, but it's a little tricky, right? Now, you're sitting looks to be for the most part in your living room or in the kitchen area, which is okay. It's not bad, right? Like you're conveying a certain thing. But ask yourself, where is a unique place and setting that I could be sitting at and doing that more or less is going to grab attention immediately, okay? So this is a bad example, but let's pretend you're sitting inside of a washer or something like, your washer and dryer, and you're halfway in it giving advice about, I don't know, how dyes in the clothes can affect your hormones. Most people are gonna be like, why are you in the washer and dryer? Like, what is going on in this video, If you're, let's say, standing on top of an elephant with a sunset behind you, the place and setting can just really grab attention immediately because it either builds more of your authority for who you are and what you're talking about, or it can also be so random that it generates curiosity. Where you're like, oh, wait, what's going on? Where's this person? What is she talking about? So I would just say, ask yourself, like, where can I be? What can I be doing? What's the place and setting or the environment that I'm in that can really grab attention? What you can do, what you should do, and anybody who's watching is like, go look at people by keywords who are in your niche and see what they're at. What are they doing? And most of the time, they're all kind of looking the exact same way or the exact same place. So like if I put manifestation coach, for example, and I go to videos, most of them you're going to see very quickly are just like in their room with a wall behind them. It's not bad, but it's kind of boring. They all just look the same. No one's really standing out. Maybe this one right here, she kind of stands out. And look at 10.2 million. What a coincidence, right? Now ask yourself, like, if the norm is in your niche, staying inside your room that's really well lit, like a living room or kitchen or whatever, be like, where can I be that's immediately going to make me stand out without any effort, right? Imagine if you were just outside with a beautiful sunset sitting on a tree with the tree swinging on a tire swing or something like that. That's probably going to garner more attention pretty quickly because it just looks different. It just looks out of the norm from what most people are experienced or seeing or whatever, A couple other things really quickly is I would probably try to add some comment baits into your video. By comment baiting, I mean give people easier reasons to comment about, okay? So, let's say you're eating something, or you're playing with your hair a certain way, or your shirt's mismatched, or you say a word is wrong a certain way. You don't want to do it in the way where you kind of start to look stupid, but you want to do it in a way where you give people a decent amount of unique opportunities for them to comment or leave their opinion on. So if you said, for example, like, my husband, he's a Chargers fan. We all know Raiders are the best. But, we were watching football. You just casually drop that little tiny thing where most people, they're going to nibble. They're going to take the bait. Oh, Chargers suck. I'm more of a Bills fan, or Buffalo, or whatever, You want to leave as many things or unique opportunities to bait people in to leave a comment. And you can do this by a variety of ways. Just doing something. Maybe it's the way you cut your sandwich that day. Maybe you don't do it in corners. You do it like in circles or something like that. Or maybe you only eat the crust and you toss out the rest of the bread. Little things that you can do to really bait people in. I think one thing that maybe I notice as well is your videos that are performing really well, you're normally wearing glasses. I don't know if you've noticed that, but generally speaking, videos where you wear glasses seem to garner more views for whatever reason that might be. This one right here, you're kind of like drinking something, you're kind of like close up, you're moving back and forth, etc. These little things that you can do that would really kind of like pull people in and grab their attention. The last thing, and I'll end here, is the idea of like passively active, trying to be passively active. What I mean by that, you're probably seeing it everywhere on TikTok right now, or people are doing like the get ready with me. They're giving information and they're doing something at the same time. They're being active while kind of not really doing anything at all, So try to maybe incorporate those into the videos that you're making. Maybe it's something that's related to what you're talking about, or it's going to speak to the audience in a way where they feel like they can self-identify or they can group identify. So for example, if you're talking about getting older and menopause, etc., I'm going to make a super generalization here, but if you're like knitting or something like that, and you're knitting like, some kind of cute beanie for your baby or something, most older women who are into knitting might be like, oh, wow, she's knitting. What is she making? You're doing something that's passive, that I'm kind of there for two storylines. I'm here to hear what you have to say, but I'm also here to see like, what the end result is. But then also, what is that passive thing that you're doing, and can it really grab that audience in? So for example, if you're like skateboarding and you're going down a ramp, you're probably not going to maybe attract grandmas. You're probably going to attract a lot of younger guys because it's like, oh, whoa, she's doing a kickflip. That's crazy. Is that a heel flip? Oh my God, that's so cool, or whatever. You want to make sure you do it in a way where you attract the audience, or the right audience, or in your case, the customer, in the most ideal way. So I'll leave it at that. Maybe one thing I would suggest too, if you can, go to Talk Audit, sort it by views, see what your most viral videos are, and honestly just reshoot those contents all over again. What is the subject matter right here? This one right here, your number one supplement to heal your gut. Cool. Watch your video, see what people are saying in the actual comments, what made them comment. So right here, I'll scroll down. It's muted, okay. Well, thank you for breaking this down and explaining the way you did. Can you recommend a brand and dosage, etc.? What I honestly do is just reshoot this content again. Obviously, you're wearing a bright color, probably grab people's attention. Do that again. Maybe you wear yellow, maybe you wear, a red or purple or something like that. Maybe right here, instead of, taking a little while to get the probiotic, you just kind of show like how you did. Maybe again, comment baiting. You put something there that's kind of funny or kind of unique that people are going to comment about. Maybe you have like, a giant jar of beans or something, or people are like, why do you have beans? What is that supposed to do or something? But yeah, I would more or less just honestly look at your most viral videos and just reshoot them all over again. Maybe optimize them a little bit better, come from a different perspective, explain a little bit more, or ideally you even just look at the comments and you do some video comment replies. Reply to these people and give an answer to whatever their question was and make a whole new video out of it that maybe you wouldn't have done beforehand. So down here, can you recommend a brand or dosage? What brands do you recommend? Where do you get yours, etc.? Great opportunities to, add more value in conversation and stuff. So let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully that was helpful. And let me know. Thanks.